Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, I used to serve the Canadian Armed Forces for 5 years. I did my tour in Afghanistan, and it was a good go for what it was. Everything was kind of dying down at that point after that tour, less funding from the government, things like that. But there's always something on our mind that we always kind of wanted to know about was what's the next level? What can I do to further my skills and things like that? And I know a lot of people, a lot of friends who did go this route. I was not one of them, but I highly respected the people who did, and that was the JTF2. For those of you who don't know what that is, that is the Joint Task Force 2 for the Canadian Special Forces. It's a very elite group of people, and right now we're watching a clip about the how hard it is to get into the training and selection of JTF2 with the Sean Ryan clips. Never watched this interview before, but they have selected a JTF2 veteran who talks about the process, getting through training, psychological evaluation, and how tough it was for his experience getting through. So let's take a look.
So you're saying that the recruiting standards or requirements are kind of, nobody really knows what they are. So now that you're talking to the recruiter, what are the requirements?
So there's a psychological evaluation. You have to go do a couple. I want to say it was 2 appointments, and it's just a psych going through all of their psych stuff, determining if you would be a good fit or not. And then there's a physical test you have to do, and the standard I do not remember, but it was like run, pull-ups, push-ups, whatever it was, certain times and certain numbers. And that all kind of goes in your file, and it is sent off to the Hill, and that's so Dwyer Hill is our unit, call it the Hill, and they get all these files from all across the different branches of the military and pick the people that are going to come on selection that year.
Okay,
and then they run a few serials of that.
So this sounds very similar to Delta. That they're recruiting from all Canadian military units.
Yeah.
Or branches.
Yeah, like I could have fucking been a musician for 2 years and then tried out any branch.
Okay, so this is very similar to Delta.
Yeah,
interesting.
and I think the thought behind it is we're going to teach you everything you need to know.
Yeah,
and like you don't need to be really good with a pistol because we're going to show you the proper way to do it anyway. And if you shoot a lot, you probably have bad habits coming. So. There wasn't a big concern of where he came from. The most successful recruits, percentage-wise, are from the infantry, by like a pretty big percentage, I think. But still, you can be a Navy, whatever, cook.
Okay.
And still.
Are there other levels of special operations units within the Canadian Armed Forces, or is
yeah. So we have JTF2. Is kind of the counterterrorism hostage rescue mandate tier 1. CSOR is like almost like the Delta Ranger relationship a little bit.
Okay.
They're the Special Operations Regiment, and then we have like a helo group and like a CBRN, like chemical weapon, all of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Those dudes that go.
So while I was in, we had no idea. Like, what did you need to get to that next level? What kind of physical fitness did you have to have? Like, within the regiment on the basic level, you were doing PT every single day. You're doing physical training every single day. So there's like road runs, 5-kilometer runs all the time. I believe Fridays we did 10. That was just kind of like the standard that we did. From the odd time, we might have done a little bit of circuit training from time to time. I always advocated to do more of that because I got through having flat feet, and that really impacted my running a lot. And I was a bit more of a heavier set guy, and I just got better over time by working out after work, and that really brought my physical fitness a lot. But when you would ask friends who actually got the opportunity to try out for JTF2 or CSAR, they were not allowed to talk about it. They had to keep a hush-hush on it. They signed some sort of contract or something so that they would not share the details of that training. So it's interesting to hear his side of it being out for so long, and we kind of wish we knew more about it to get more excited about it while we were in. But there's really nobody advocating of that world that be like considering I was in Petawawa, it was like this is one of the like the front regiments of the Afghanistan war and other wars before it. So yeah, it's interesting to watch this for the first time.
They're like the crazy machines. And
do you guys work with them?
Yeah, we work with them all the time, like overseas and domestic, and like it's.
Do you see a lot of carryover from like the Ranger relationship that you were just talking about with that other unit? Do you see a lot of draw coming from that unit into JTF too?
Yeah. I think even more now. I don't know if it was set up this way, but there's a lot of guys now that go there first and then come to JTF too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do the psych test, you do the physical test. Do they give you like a, hey, you're in immediately, or is it a long wait?
No, it's a funny one actually. So you'll know if you pass the test because you know what the times are, you know what the numbers are. And there's like a physical, like a PSP staff. They're like, okay, that's your push-up number. Good. Here's your run time.
So PSP staff are basically physical trainers that are civilian for the most part, and you first get introduced to them in basic training. So if you are really bad at calisthenics or running or weights, they basically teach you how to get up to certain levels, make you a little bit of knowledge about that, and kind of guide you on how to better yourself. Because if you don't get to a certain level within the training, then you get kicked back. And I talked about this in my previous episodes where I was so stressful about a lot of people. If you didn't pass physical fitness tests, you would have to restart your course all again. And that was what we didn't want to happen. We didn't want to see friends gone because of that. So there's a lot more incentive to motivate them to work out a lot more. But for me, I was more so lucky. I was younger. I was more fit. I was 19 years old when I first started. So that's what PSP staff are.
Pull-ups, here's your whatever. So you know if you passed the physical test. I don't recall knowing if I passed the psych or if they're just like, like psych. These are my notes, they're going in. But you wait for a message from Dwyer Hill to say like, yeah, you're picked up on selection. So I was training with a group of guys to get ready for it. And we were giving her like 2 or 3 workouts a day. And like our chain of command was giving us time to do it. And we got really good support in that sense. But I was already in recce platoon as a sniper. And they were in a different squadron or company. So I was going out for a run, morning PT, and I think it was all 3 of them were like, "Oh, we got our message. We're picked up to go on selection." I was like, "Well, where the fuck did you find that out?" And I'm like, "Oh, Sergeant Major just told us." So I'm like, "Well, I didn't hear fucking anything. What the hell?" So I went and found my Sergeant Major. I was like, he's like, "What do you want?" Do you have anything to tell me? He's like, "Oh yeah, you're going on selection." I was like, "Fuck." Like, thank you. And then I went and did my run or whatever. But it was just, I don't even know, it was maybe 10 minutes in between. But I was like, am I going? What's happening here? But yeah, so they send the message back to the different units, and you just get word like, show up at this time. And that's all you know. And there's like, again, you see, like I was training in battalion with like, some of the fittest people I've ever met in my whole life. And you'd see they'd go on selection, come back like 3 days later. Like, what the fuck happened?
Didn't make it.
And they're like, I can't talk about it, but no, I didn't make it. Like, and then the next guy, what the fuck happened? And then so you're going, it's intimidating.
Yeah.
You see, like, I'm working out with these guys. I know they're machines. And they're just like, a couple days later coming back. I'm like, a couple days? What happened in a couple days? Like, so yeah, going in, it was just such a mystery, and just the rumors that fly around.
So there's this guy who was in the regiment who's basically telling everybody to go F themselves. I won't see you again, and just completely like a prick. And he came back in like 3 days, just with his head down and kind of like demoralized. And we're just like, what happened? What's going on? And he didn't want to kind of give any feedback whatsoever. So Yeah, it's absolutely insane the amount of like training and stuff that they have to get through. These guys, like some of these guys I know, they're just like gazelles. They are like cheetahs. They just could not be caught. They're just physically fit. They could run for miles and miles, and just bulldogs. And they came back. It's just the physical fitness of this group is just outstanding.
Is the hill at the same? Is it at the same base that you're on, or did you have to travel? You know, is it at another location in
Yeah,
Canada,
so
or-
I was in Edmonton, which is in Alberta. We traveled to Dwyer Hill, which is near Ottawa, and that's where all the selection was run, all around that area.
Okay. So you get there, you show up. Around how many people are trying out?
There's a couple serials, but the serial I was on, I think, was 30, just over 30 people, maybe.
30 people.
Yeah.
How many of these are they running a year?
It varies every year depending on recruiting numbers and all this stuff. I think the year I did it, so my selection was in 2008. I want to say there was 4 serials or something like that.
Okay.
Three or 4 serials.
A year?
Yeah, the year I was on it. So I know it varies. I think they try to get as many
Yeah.
good candidates as possible, but again, recruiting numbers go like this. So
I'll bet they're like this right now.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Same here. But so you get in, about 30 guys. What do they have? How are you received? Are they welcoming? Are they standoffish?
No, it's fucking
Are they yelling
crazy.
at you?
It's psychological, like right off the bat. So I flew into Ottawa the night before. They tell you where to stay in the hotel. They tell you what time to meet a bus. You just get on a bus. Like, here's your number. You'll now be referred to as this number. Go sit down. And it's not really a dick. They're just like,
Very
come on,
matter of
number 10,
fact.
number 9, get on the bus. And you just like, fuck me. Like, what's going to happen? And it's kind of like that throughout. It's a 7-day selection. And you just don't know what's going to happen. There's guys that have done it a couple times, so they have a different clue. Or like there's some people that knew because friends or whatever told them, but like coming from out west, we didn't have a clue. None of us knew anything that was going to happen.
Damn.
So, yeah, it was...
You had no ties inside the unit or anything?
No.
Totally in the blind.
In the blind. Yeah, just like hoping we prepared well enough.
So what
Somehow.
was it like? What were they looking for? What was the first test?
It's like fitness is a big part, but it almost doesn't matter. I realized this after, like the guys that were super fit that came back, like if you can do 200 push-ups, you're gonna be asked to do 202. Like the fitness is important because it's fucking hard, but it's more about mental resilience, I think, than actual physical fitness. Like you pass the fitness standard to get there. Now, no matter how fit you are, you're gonna be pushed. And that definitely happened. And then it's just like an all day 24/7 psychological fucking mind fuck.
Okay.
Just like there's all kinds of different tasks to like see how you think, to see how you work in a team, see how you work under pressure, obviously, to test the things you're scared of.
How did they do that? How did they test what you're scared of?
Man, they were just, without maybe getting into exact specifics, it would be like they'll test to see if you're claustrophobic, test to see if you're scared of water or drowning, test to see if you're afraid of heights, test to see your reaction in these situations. And
When they
Yeah.
when they find your fear, are you going to hang out in that fear for a little while?
oh yeah, you'll get if you are showing something you're afraid of, it is exploited for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was yours?
The ones they tested, I didn't really have any of them at that point. I mean, I have a healthy respect for heights, but I mean, like I love the mountains and I'm a climber and stuff. But some of the most scared I've been have been on like trad climbs because I have a respect for heights. I wouldn't say I'm scared of it. But that would probably be the one where I was like, the test that they do, I was like, fucking goddamn. I was like, I just have to do it. I just don't want to give away precisely what it was. But that was the one where I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, fuck it, I'm here. Like, but that would have been the one. I'm not claustrophobic. We trained a lot in the water getting ready for it, so I was pretty comfortable in the water. Yeah.
So if you don't, I totally understand not wanting to give anything up, and I don't want you to do that. I'm not prying. So if you don't want to answer, just, you can tell me. It's fine. Everybody's going to understand, but I'm trying to get, the gist of what the selection's like. So it sounded like it was kind of a gentleman's course where it was just very matter of fact, unemotional.
No.
So after that, then they start yelling and they're...
Oh, yeah. You go back and forth. There's a bunch of different personalities doing different things for different reasons. So, like, it psychological. Some guys don't care about, like, welcome, you're number 10. Leave. Some people fucking right in your face to see if you're afraid of someone yelling at you, to see if, like, how you handle it. And it was like it was a very good, it was a roller coaster, like, and then you'd have time like on your own where you'd have a task, and then it was with a team, and like you didn't know if when they tell you to go to sleep, if you're actually going to sleep or something's going to happen, or like it was just, it's 7 days, and it's like there's not very much downtime, and there's just, they try to really assess how you're gonna be if shit is hard and you're tired and you have a team relying on you, or you have to do something on your own. Like,
you can kind of see in his face too, and I kind of experienced the same thing to a degree, not to this professional level, but you're bent, you're spent, you're exhausted, you don't know, your heart rate's elevated all the time. There's no breaks, or if you do have a break, you sleep during that break, and I think that it even contributes even today a little bit too, in the fact that like short-term memory loss is like you almost want to kind of suppress kind of like the certain things that you've been through, that you experience, depending on the level of training that you kind of went through. So you can kind of see on his face where he can't remember how many people who went through the selection, what specific training, like how long was the training, like what was the fear factor, what was, like, these are things that you just went through, you grind through it, and you look at the guy beside you and say, like, I'm just going to get through this because he's getting through it as well. And that's it. That's just like the survival instinct of just getting through the training and trying to get out on the other end of it, because the stress of like being tapped on the shoulder and be like, you're out, kid, ring the bell. That's what a lot of these guys don't want to see happen. Right. So I think that contributes a lot even today to a lot of soldiers and such. Like I swear I have short-term memory loss. I try to remember certain things. I can't really attain that information. I have to repeat it or I have to write it down. And even things in the past, so Afghanistan, I forget some things too because I don't want to remember them. And maybe it's just a survival technique.
Is it 24 hours a day? Is it just one task to the next task?
Oh yeah, it's 24 hours a day. Even like your task of, okay, go to sleep. You're like, okay. Like, it's just 24 hours a day. And mine was run in like late fall. I think it was November in Canada. So it was like cold outside, and it was a mix of like rain and snow and fucking crazy. And I remember part of that actually helped me because I like hurt my knee on it. So one of my strengths going in was running. I was a pretty good runner, and there's a lot of running that has to happen. But I hurt my knee, and I was like, now the first few days or whatever at the front of the run and stuff, feeling pretty good about it, to like limping at the back of everything, and like a staff and a fucking ambulance right behind me, like, just fucking quit, number 10. Just like running in the dark. Just quit. Why are you doing this? Look at everyone's up there. Do you think they want to work with somebody that's this fucking slow? I'm like, oh my God.
Do you think they want to work with me?
Yeah. I'm like, man, this was my strength and I'm just trying to run. But we ended up doing some stuff like going through this like crazy ice cold river, and there's a bunch of cold kind of exposure stuff. And it ended up helping my knee a lot. So it was like that night, and then the next day I was like, oh, it's feeling a little bit better. And it was like, I thought I was on my way out, and then I had this little comeback. But That part's great. That's where I was happy that we were doing it in the cold in Canada.
How many guys made it through?
Out of all the serials, I want to say we had, so it goes 7 days selection, and then it goes to the assaulter course. If you pass selection and are deemed, what they're looking for, you go on an assaulter course. That's like 10 months. So from all the serials, I think we started the assaulter course at around 30, something like that.
Let me rewind a little bit. So I'm just trying to understand everything.
Yeah.
So you're saying they have the year you tried out, they had maybe approximately 4 selections.
Yeah.
Throughout the year.
Yeah.
Do they compress all these selections?
Yeah, most of them were like back to back. It
Okay.
was like all, I think, in the fall. And it was like serial 1, 2, 3, 4.
So there is one time of year where you have a shot to try out for JTF2, and if you're not in that 1 month
You
window,
gotta wait. Yeah.
then you got to wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 classes of 30. That's about what, 75% cut rate?
Yeah, and you would see it like fucking hour 1 when it started. People were like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here." Like,
It's it's refreshing to watch this, and like because you hear this kind of stuff at the unit, but there's no facts to back it up. There's nobody who is like, yeah, I was there or whatever. You just hear like this guy said of somebody who he knew, and he knew somebody who he knew, and he knew somebody who he knew, and you never got the true story, so you don't know if it's been manipulated or lied to or fabricated, right? So it's refreshing to see somebody who's been boots on the ground, who's actually been experienced it, went through selection, and went through the assaulter course. Because I had friends in the military who also went through selection and got to the assaulter course, but you never knew if they actually made it. The only thing is that we knew that they weren't back at the regiment. That was it. So you just assumed that they made it, but we didn't know how long it was going to be. But yeah, things happen. Like sometimes something might happen at home for one of these guys that they can't continue selection anymore, and they had to drop out because of something serious happening with a family member, stuff like that. And that was their choice to either deal with that family issue or continue with their course. So there's always a lot of personal factors that go into this as well. And the last thing you want to do is go through all this process, go through all that pain, and then wait another year to go start back up in the fall season just to do it all over again the following year, right? So, yeah, it's just wild.
we laughed about it later. We're like, because to get there is such a pain in the ass process to begin it. Like, you got to do 2 years in the military, and I mean, not everybody joins just to do that, but like, and then the psych test and the fucking physical test and the training and like flying across the country to go, and then like the first fucking hour, people are like, nope,
I'm done.
Get me out of here. It's like, okay, but yeah, it's 75% roughly are chopped there, and then. Man, I wish I remembered the numbers exactly. I've had a lot of concussions between then and now.
It's all good.
But yeah, I think our course started at around 30.
Okay.
When it was time to start the assaulter course.
So you get through selection. Is there any kind of is there? Does the attitude change once you make it through selection and you're getting ready to go to assaulters course, or are you still?
Yeah, no, the attitude changes drastically. It becomes more now like a gentleman's course.
Okay.
Now they're clear that like this is still like this is now part 2 of selection. It's going to be a 10-month course where you're learning fucking everything. But there was a big attitude change. It was more like a lot of people just they wanted to show you how to become a good assaulter. And that was pretty constant throughout. There was some like, I'm an instructor, you're a candidate, like making that known. But for the most part, it was good, like gentleman's course after that.
When you're going through the course, do you have access to the operators that are over at the unit already?
Not really. Some guys had friends that were there and stuff, and you get to have a chat with them or whatever. But we had just like the cadre of staff that were running each package. That would be our access to the current assaulters in the unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of skills how's it broken down?
So selection's done, in the fall, and then SOAC starts. That's our Special Operations Assaulter course. Starts in when I did it, it started in January. So we go and we actually we came down south and did like a shooting package where they're just like, we're gonna teach you how to shoot these guns now. It was done at like Blackwater. It was Blackwater at the time. Whatever.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
You guys are coming down here.
Yeah, because it's cold as fuck in January. Yeah. Like shooting pistol and loading mags. And it was just, I can't remember, I want to say it was like a month or a month and a half of just shooting, like straight from the basics. Like, this is the pistol, this is how you hold it, this is how you use it. And just every day, shoot.
Was it internal instructors? Like
Yeah.
JTF2 guys teaching?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had like a training cadre that was, and they would get guys, so training, and they would bring guys from like some of the squadrons in to also teach. So yeah, it was all like we were learning to be assaulters from assaulters.
Rifle and pistol?
Yeah, rifle and pistol.
What happens after that?
So once you're done there, and then we lost a few guys in that stuff, just like people, couldn't pick it up, or safeties are always a big one, because it's all looking forward to being in the CQB. So like, if you can't pick up on weapons safety after some chances, then it's like, because you're getting into some tight situations later. But after that, we went to, shooting was done, and then it was CQB, basic CQB.
So for the audience that's not military, CQB's close quarters battle.
Yeah.
That's entering houses, entering buildings with a team and flowing through with weapons.
That's right, yeah.
A lot of hostage rescue,
Yeah.
capture, kill type stuff.
That's right.
How was that for you, having never done that?
Man, I found it to be a lot of fun, but at this part in the course, it was not so friendly, because we have a training facility that's like a whole collection of different rooms, but there's no ceiling, and there's a catwalk where the instructors are watching what you're doing, and then just like fucking tearing you apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a high stress part of the course for sure. You're trying to take all the things you learn in the shooting package and now put it into like a very dynamic situation where once you're going and flowing, like as you're running and you're making shots, and like your dude's right there and you're shooting right there, and what's beyond the target. There's just so many things to process that it was high stress. I enjoyed it, but I almost didn't make it through either. There was it came down to like a final day in a final room. I loved being aggressive as fuck in the CQB, and sometimes it got me a little more attention. But yeah, it was like down to like, if I got another safety, I think it was going to be like, that's it for me. But I still to this day, after having done the course, gone through, did all the CQB and squadrons and all the other things, I still disagree completely with like the safety that put me kind of on the bubble. I think it was a bad call, but
Do you think maybe they put that on you just to add to the pressure, knowing that you only have one left?
I don't think so. Because if they did, I think they would have done it to more people. Like, there was a couple of us for sure that were like, we just got to be careful on this run. Just be careful. I don't think it was done specifically. It was just, I did it to myself.
Roger that.
Yeah.
How long was that portion?
Oh man, I want to say it was just a couple months maybe. So shooting was a month. Yeah, maybe 2 months. And again, these are all this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
These are all ish.
So we're roughly 3 to 4 months into selection.
Yeah.
What do we have left?
So after you've shown that you can be safe and you're picking up on that stuff, it was still, we were mixing in stuff too at this time that was like fighting, medical training. So it'd be like CQB in the morning, let's say, maybe a period of like TCCC medical training, and like fight class, CQB in the evening, and then like another fight class in the evening.
What kind of fight class are you guys doing?
Like a mixed martial arts. So there's kind of, you're getting the basics of striking, boxing, kicking, and then grappling, like some BJJ stuff, and then growing to incorporate like weapons and team, and like more like in a CQB, like in a room environment, like you're coming in someone's hospital, but not necessarily armed, like not compliant. How do you take care of that guy? You know what I mean? Like, so incorporating now, you have a long gun and you have your gear and like that kind of stuff. So they built on first on the like the basics of just how to throw a punch, how to kick, all of these different things, some grappling, and then added in, you know, the guns you're going to have, or using a knife that you might have if you're in a hairy situation.
At what point do they start? How do I say? At what point do they start cross training? So, at what point do they expect you to start busting out jiu-jitsu in a kill house or striking in a kill house?
That was the next portion. So it was like basic CQB and learning the fundamentals of fighting, and then an advanced CQB was like bigger targets, off camp, things we've never seen, getting all like and it was more hostage rescue centric at this point. Different types of infills, fast roping, rappelling, or like high speed vehicle approach, or, you know, sneaky. And then in those scenarios, you would have guys that were in the building, and this we'd switch from live fire to simunition. But there would be
Simunition is basically paintball with like a 9mm gunpowder behind it, and it fucking hurts, especially when you're going through your scenarios and all your like quarter combat kind of training. And we're always been trained to shoot the center mass, right? Always around the chest area where the plates are, but we also, that's where our hands are. So whenever people are trained to shoot in that direction, and you're going against an opponent, you're always getting peppered in your fingers all the time. So anybody who's been through that experience knows what it's like. And imagine actually having bullets cutting up your hands going through that. So sim rounds, effective, but they suck.
Good scenario you can think of they would put into these buildings and houses. And we would go, you know, everything from like explosive entry to just like mechanical breaching, and just the whole thing came together in that. And that's where you're presented with situations where you're like, I assess that like I would probably be, well, at the time, because I'm on course, I'd probably be in trouble if I shoot this person, so I'm going to fight him. And that's where it all kind of came together. Okay.
So basically what they're doing is, it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like CQB is the mother load here.
Yeah.
And then they're adding in fighting, medical, air operations. You guys doing any diving?
No, not on our basic assault.
Navigation.
Yeah, definitely. That's the nav, like navigation and all that stuff is, we have a green phase that's after advanced CQB. So after they kind of tackle like the hostage rescue kind of domestic stuff, like, you know, you're wearing black and you're doing domestic Canadian hostage rescue, or kind of the scenarios. And then it goes to more. Oh, no
shit. So you guys do domestic stuff?
So that's so mandate. Yeah, it's sort of like we're a mix, because we have a domestic hostage rescue mandate, well, kind of globally, but like we will be what the government reaches for if something happens that like our police can't handle. So almost like your your FBI, I think, have
HRT team.
Your HRT, yeah, have like that domestic hostage rescue mandate here. So we have that.
No shit.
As well, yeah.
I can't wait to dive into how this unit is broken down. I had no idea you guys were both domestic and foreign.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was a great interview. If you want to catch the whole interview, definitely recommend it. But that was the cliff notes of this guy. Amazing. Like, never got that much information about the Hill, I knew about the hill. I got like members who've been there. Like I said, I have friends who've experienced it, and also very lucky to have people within the regiment as well who were at the hill, but kind of like took a step back, I guess. So maybe they were like more the B team because they got their A team assaulters and they have a B team as well. So I kind of found out, and yeah, absolutely. Like, you got to be the best of the best. You got to be physically fit, you got mentally tough, all that kind of stuff. And do I wish I tried out? Yeah, maybe. But I was pretty happy with my short career. And like, we did a lot of the breaching stuff as a comm engineer. We did a lot of like explosive demolition. I got into like counter IED just before I left. I was leaving that team, and a lot of friends carried on that, and they went further. They went to the U.S. for extra training, and other friends went to the CBRE and all kind of stuff. And they were more career driven. Eventually, they went to more civilian, like privatized companies, and they made their fortunes on that. And some of them just eventually retired because it was a lot stress on themselves and their families. So everybody's different, right? Doesn't mean, like, at the end of the day, there is eventually an end to your career, right? But you got to make the best of it while you're in it. And at the end, and like I said, at the end of the day, you just can't have any regrets of which way you want to go with that career. And you shouldn't be really stomping on yourself on like, oh, I wish I did this, or I wish I did that, or I wish I was more physically fit, or this and that. So you just got to be the hero of your own journey at the end of it, right? But hopefully you guys like that one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Any members, shout out in the comments. What do you guys think about this interview? And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. It was a lot of fun.